The killer whale is notorious for its fearsome reputation as one of the ocean's top predators. However, these majestic animals have a complex social structure and are highly intelligent beings. With a weight of up to 13,000 pounds and a top swimming speed of 34 miles per hour, these creatures are built to give even the toughest of great white sharks problems. Their large size, sharp teeth, and formidable hunting skills make them capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. So let's learn more about the apex predators of the ocean, the killer whales. The killer whales, also known as orcas, have a bit of a misleading name because they are a type of dolphin, but despite this, the term killer whale has been used for a long time. However, since the 1960s, people have been using the term orca more often. The name orca comes from the Latin word Orsinius, which means the kingdom of the dead or belonging to Orcus, an ancient god of the underworld. The Romans used to call these animals orca, possibly taking it from the ancient Greek word oryx, which referred to a type of whale. In the world of science, on the other hand, killer whales are known as Orsinius orca. They are the only species in the Orsinius group. The famous naturalist Carl Linnaeus first described them back in 1758. But even before Linnaeus, back in 1558, a guy named Conrad Gessner wrote about them as well. He was fascinated by a dead killer whale he found washed up on a beach. Killer whales are part of the oceanic dolphin family, which has been around for about 11 million years. They share some physical features with other dolphins, like the false killer whale and the pilot whale. Scientists have been studying their genes to figure out who their closest relatives are, but in the end, killer whales are pretty unique in their own way. Killer whales have a fascinating story that stretches back millions of years. These creatures belong to the oceanic dolphin family, which first appeared about 11 million years ago. While their exact evolutionary path isn't entirely clear, scientists believe that orcas likely branched off from other dolphin species fairly early on. Killer whales share some physical traits with other dolphins, like the false killer whale and pilot whale, suggesting a common ancestor. However, genetic studies have revealed surprising connections. While some scientists initially thought that orcas that eat mammals in different regions might be closely related, genetic testing has challenged this idea. It turns out that orcas from different areas with different diets aren't as closely related as once believed. In the wild, killer whales have a cosmopolitan distribution, meaning they can be found in oceans all around the world. However, they are not evenly distributed. Different populations or types of orcas have been identified based on their behavior, diet, and genetics. For example, in the North Pacific alone, there are at least 3 distinct types: resident, transient, or bigs, and offshore. While killer whales are not considered endangered as a species, some populations are facing serious threats. For example, the southern resident population off the coast of British Columbia and Washington state is listed as endangered. These orcas are particularly vulnerable due to factors like pollution, habitat loss, and declining prey population. Despite their unique characteristics, killer whales are closely related to other oceanic dolphins. Their closest living relatives are likely the snubfin dolphin. These small dolphins, found in waters around Australia and Southeast Asia, share a common ancestor with orcas. In addition to living relatives, orcas also have some extinct relatives that offer clues about their evolutionary history. Fossil evidence suggests that they may have evolved from ancient dolphin-like ancestors that lived millions of years ago. While these early ancestors may look quite different from modern orcas, they likely laid the groundwork for the creatures we see today. Orcas come in various types, each exhibiting distinct behaviors and adaptations. Research has identified different ecotypes, including fish-eating residents, mammal-eating transients, and offshores. These ecotypes have been well studied off the west coast of North America, where they displayed specialized hunting strategies and prey preferences. In addition to these well-known ecotypes, 4 types of orcas have been documented in the Antarctic, labeled types A to D. These Antarctic types show unique genetic and ecological characteristics, suggesting they may represent distinct species or subspecies. While some researchers have proposed the existence of dwarf species of orcas, their status remains controversial among the scientific community. Recent genetic studies have further highlighted the complexity of orca taxonomy. Mitochondrial sequencing has supported the recognition of certain Antarctic and North Pacific transient populations as distinct species. Additionally, a 2019 study suggested that type D may constitute a unique species separate from other populations. Killer whales display several morphological adaptations that reflect their diverse ecological roles. While there is variation between ecotypes, some features are common among all orcas. These include a sleek, streamlined body with distinct black and white coloration, large pectoral flippers, and a prominent dorsal fin. Resident orcas, which primarily feed on fish, often have rounded dorsal fins and smaller body sizes compared to transient orcas, which specialize in hunting marine mammals. Offshore orcas, with their wide-ranging habitat, tend to have more varied physical characteristics, reflecting their diverse diet and behaviors. Antarctic orcas, particularly type A and type B, have distinctly different color patterns and smaller body sizes compared to their counterparts in other regions. These adaptations are thought to be shaped by the unique ecological conditions of the Southern Ocean. The taxonomy and morphology of killer whales are subjects to ongoing research and debate. While certain ecotypes and populations exhibit clear distinctions in behavior and genetics, the broader classification of orcas into distinct species or subspecies remains complex. Killer whales are incredible creatures with a variety of adaptations that make them successful hunters in the ocean. Adult male killer whales in the North Pacific can grow up to 27 feet long, while females are slightly smaller, reaching lengths of about 23 feet. Males can weigh up to 13,300 pounds, nearly twice as much as females. They have predominantly black bodies with large white patches on their undersides and near their eyes. A distinctive feature of killer whales is their tall dorsal fins, which can reach up to 6 feet in males and 3 feet in females. Killer whales are long-lived animals, with males living up to 50 years and females up to 80 years. They reproduce slowly, with females becoming sexually active around 15 years of age. Pregnancy lasts 16 to 18 months, and calves are born at intervals of 3 to 8 years. In stable pods, some females may not breed at all. They are opportunistic feeders, preying on a wide range of marine animals. Resident killer whales primarily eat fish like salmon, herring, halibut, and cod. Transient killer whales, on the other hand, feed on marine mammals such as seals, sea lion, porpoises, and even larger whales. Their stomach contents have been found to contain a variety of prey, including harbor seals, harbor porpoises, and stellar sea lions. Killer whales often hunt cooperatively in pods. When hunting large prey like gray or humpback whales, they may attack as a group, tearing away at the prey from different angles. For schooling fish, smaller killer whales may swim close to shore to drive the fish into deeper waters, where the rest of the pod can catch them. They have also been observed briefly beaching themselves to grab seals and sea lions from the shore. Killer whales migrate northward through the Bering Strait in the spring, as the pack ice retreats, and they move southward in the fall when the ice advances. While they can be found in all the world's oceans and seas, they are most commonly found in cold temperature waters. In Alaska, killer whales are commonly seen over the continental shelf, from southeast Alaska to the Aleutian Islands and northward into the Chukchi and Beaufort Seas. In the North Pacific Ocean, they have been classified into 3 ecotypes: residents, transients, and offshores. Residents have small home ranges and return each year to predictable locations. Transients have larger home ranges and move through local areas quickly, while offshores have the largest home ranges that include areas farther offshore. Killer whales are not just impressive in size and strength, they also exhibit complex social behaviors that rival those of elephants and higher primates. They live in highly structured societies, with different populations exhibiting varying social behaviors. In the eastern North Pacific, resident killer whales form tight-knit family groups called matrilines. These matrilines consist of the eldest female, known as the matriarch, her offspring, and the descendants of her daughters. It's not uncommon for 4 generations to travel together, forming stable and cohesive units. Matrilines often come together to form looser groups called pods, usually consisting of 1 to 4 matrilines. These pods may separate for weeks or months at a time, but they share similar dialects and common maternal heritage. Additionally, pods within the same geographic area may belong to larger social units called clans, which share dialects and maternal ancestry but have overlapping ranges. Transient orcas have smaller social groups consisting of an adult female and 1 or 2 of her offspring. These groups are more fluid, with extended or permanent separations from natal matrilines being common, particularly among males. Orcas rely heavily on underwater sound for communication. They produce clicks, whistles, and pulse calls, with clicks primarily used for navigation. Vocalization varies between residents and transient populations, with residents being more vocal, likely due to their fish-based diet. Vocal dialects are distinct within matrilines and are thought to play a crucial role in maintaining group identity and cohesion. Orcas exhibit remarkable cultural behaviors, passing on learned behaviors from generation to generation. These behaviors include the use of dialect, hunting techniques, and even playful interaction with humans. Killer whales face numerous threats to their survival, primarily driven by human activities. Humans are the primary predators of killer whales due to commercial exploitation. Throughout history, killer whales have been hunted for their meat, oil, or more recently, captured for entertainment purposes in marine parks. The removal of orcas from the wild for public display has significantly impacted wild populations. In recent years, conflicts with fisheries have escalated, particularly in Alaska, where resident killer whales have been targeting black cod from long lines, leading to retaliatory shooting by fishermen. However, such actions are now illegal, highlighting the need for better management strategies. In regions like the Pacific Northwest, declines in wild salmon, a primary food source for killer whales, have exacerbated population declines. Pollution and habitat degradation further compounded these threats, jeopardizing the long-term survival of killer whale communities. Efforts to protect killer whales involve a combination of regulatory measures, research initiatives, and public awareness campaigns. The United States government listed the southern resident killer whale population as endangered, recognizing the urgent need for conservation actions. Should killer whales have more protection despite not being officially endangered? How do we improve conservation efforts and save their habitats? Should we study them more to understand killer whales better or leave them be? Let us know below, and make sure to check out the next video shown on screen.